Hello, you have found the Texas Steampunk Connection, your source for steampunk event information in the great free state of Texas.
We also discuss books, films, comics, and games.
Also, we enjoy visiting with the local steampunk luminaries.
I'm Flavio.
I'm Erica.
And I'm Thax, your hosts.
Thank you for tuning in, and now on to the episode.
Welcome, Texas Steampunk Connection, Season 2, Episode 17. Yes, I know we're a little late, but I've had reason.
What are you talking about? We are exactly on time. We just didn't do one last episode.
Right.
Steampunk is always exactly on time.
True.
We are time travelers.
Also, we build clocks.
Yes, so we're never late unless we want to be.
No, there's
Seasonably
no
late.
such thing as late.
Fashionably late.
No such thing as
No
late.
such thing as early.
A steampunk always arrives at the exact time that he or she wishes to arrive.
Yeah, well, last week I was in pain. I had toothache, so I couldn't record.
That was 2 weeks ago, you know.
Was that 2 weeks ago?
Never mind.
So we're even later than I thought. Holy crap.
Hey, we're
Wait, we just discussed that. We're not late.
We skipped an episode. I don't care.
So we watched a bunch of movies to make up for it because there wasn't a whole lot going on physically.
That we went to. You went to a balloon festival.
Yes, I went to balloon.
Let's talk about that first.
I went to balloon festival. Then we went. Well, there was actually the meetup in San Marcos too, that we haven't talked about.
Okay.
Because we went there and didn't talk about it.
Let's talk about your balloon festival because I don't know anything about it.
The Kyle Pie in the Sky Balloon Festival is the one I went to.
We
First
talked about
annual.
We talked
First
about that
annual.
on the
we
show.
talked about possibly going to it, and then I didn't. Then we didn't go as a group. However, my friend, whose name is Kyle,
Dun dun dun.
decided he wanted to go because they were having a Guinness Book of World Record attempt at having the most Kyles in one place in Kyle, or something like that.
Did they make it?
I don't know actually.
But you told me that he got there later than they did the count.
Right, they got there just after because of the parking situation.
Uh-oh.
We were there in time, but then they waved us off to the right and told us to go around the corner and park over there and catch a shuttle bus back. And by the time we got back, it was over.
Oh. Okay.
So next time I told him he needs to buy VIP parking so he can just go on in.
Show him your ID. It's me, Kyle.
First year, things are not always well organized when they're first starting out. And that's
Right.
okay.
Were they overcrowded? They get more people than they expected?
I don't think so. It's just the up close parking was just called was the VIP parking. That's why.
La-di-da. Okay.
I think they just waited they were too eager to count the Kyles. I think they did too early.
Oh, maybe.
You know, and I mean it was a balloon festival. They had a good 15 balloons there, so there's plenty of balloons.
Cool.
We're talking about large hot air balloons.
Yeah, large
not
hot air
like
balloons. Yeah, not
little helium balloons and
Exactly.
clowns and stuff.
Big, large hot air balloons. They had a band and they had food, and I had fajitas there at a food truck, and those fajitas were awesome. They were like really good fajita, chicken fajita. They were nice and tender, and they were good.
Do you remember the name?
I do not, unfortunately, and they had no line. All the other food vendors had a line, like a long ass line for burgers and hot dogs and all the other pizzas and stuff. But nobody was at the fajita place.
But funnel cake. I need funnel cake.
But yes, that would have been dessert.
Yeah, you've been talking about these chicken fajita
They were good
for weeks.
Yeah, I need to figure out who they were. But yeah, I mean they had really, they did the balloon glow. They blew up their balloons and they glowed them and everything. It was really nice. I was having a hell of a time getting good pictures though, so I don't have any pictures. I don't know what was wrong with my camera, but I wasn't doing very good. They had a Wells Fargo balloon that was shaped like a stagecoach.
I've seen that. It's huge.
It is. It was humongous. And we watched. I mean, we watched all the balloons. We took as many pictures as we could. Mine, like I said, mine came out terribly. Sun went down. Band started playing. The band was meh, kind of a cover band, funk cover band, kind of.
Okay.
And they, I don't know, they weren't completely in tune sometimes.
Oops. Oh, that sucks.
But it was the first attempt, and I'm pretty sure my friend Kyle's going to want to go back next year to attempt to get in the record, the Guinness Book of World Record.
So, do you recommend it? Would you go back?
If my friend Kyle goes, I'll go with him.
Okay.
Or if you guys want to go, we'll go together. But I wouldn't go by myself. You know, it's boring by myself.
Yeah, I understand. It's who you take with you to any event.
Exactly.
I think we were just allergies were high and we felt like crap, and so we didn't go.
And,
It's just
it was the Kyle Lake. It's not a lake. It's just a big pond, but they call it a lake. Not to disparage anybody's lakes, but come on, call it what it is. But yeah, I mean, otherwise it was okay. There was a bunch of the vendors there were mediocre. They had I don't know if they had nothing there I wanted to buy, obviously.
Okay.
But I'm not much of a shopper when it comes to fairs like that. I don't buy decent things. I
don't have no idea what they would even vend.
Yeah, I mean, you've been to like the ones that we've been to before, where they had the little fairs that we've gone to, like the Balloon Festival, similar stuff. Little knickknacks and
arts and crafts.
Yeah, arts and craft knickknacks and stuff like that.
Okay,
that's pretty
gotcha.
much what it was. I don't really buy knickknacks and arts and crafts, because I don't know, not my thing.
Yeah, there's only so much of that you really need in the house.
Yep.
Okay.
But that was fun. I mean, that was only their first annual. I think they're going to attempt again next year. But I mean, like I said, when it came to balloons, they delivered on the amount of balloons, and they actually blew them up and had a balloon glow, unlike some of the balloons that we've gone to go see, where they didn't even do that. Remember?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So I mean,
It's very dependent on the weather.
Yeah, they succeeded in that part. So I mean, and if you wanted to see the balloons, there was plenty to see. They were awesome, and they glowed really pretty, like. And what else did we go to? We went to the San Marcos meetup again at the Lamp Factory. We went there.
Is that what they call it? Yeah, San Marcos Lamp Factory.
Yeah. I wasn't able to go dressed up because I was already south of San Marcos.
You were coming
and
from
working,
work.
and it just didn't feel right to come all the way back north and then go back south again. So I just stopped on the way.
But we came in outfits, and I won an award.
Yes, you did. You won an award. What'd you get? A $50 gift card?
No, I got a lamp.
A lamp. That's right. That was a cool lamp.
It's a distressed antique lamp that looks kind of like a
coachman's lamp.
Yeah,
or something.
yeah. Just you put a candle in. It was a good social event.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't as crowded as it has been in the past, which surprised me. This is the first one they've had since May.
Yeah.
I looked back and looked for the last one. But some familiar faces were there. I'm starting to recognize the people who work there and have had conversations with them.
Mm-hmm.
And they've already scheduled, we'll talk about this at the end of the show, but they've scheduled the next one, which they're planning on having as, we'll talk about it later. Yeah. But it was good to see Jim Lehman running the show and, everything they do there. They always have new lamps in the store to poke at. And
well, he's always talking about they're building their website, and he wants to have his website also be like a go-to of what's happening steampunk-wise, or he wants to make a family of it all, which I support, but just kind of what we're trying to do here on our podcast, trying to make everybody connect and talk and cross-play and not, you know what I mean?
Right. Have
go to each other's events and play together.
Cultural glue that pulls us all together and lets you know what's happening, what events you can come and meet us or each other, or just where to have a good time. So yeah, I think Jim's focus and ours are very similar.
Mm-hmm. We should hopefully we can pull our forces together and work together with him.
Really need to get an interview with him very soon.
That'd be nice. He's a nice guy.
Yeah, he's great, and he's got some crazy stories. Okay,
he knows his history too. I think it sounds
it's
like
not history for him. It's just
he lived
that time I was doing this thing.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, so what else have we been doing? I think that's pretty much it physically. We haven't gone anywhere else that I know of.
We stayed at home, watched TV, stayed away.
It's still hot outside.
Right? It's October now, and I'm waiting for fall to come.
It'll be late February.
Mold has been high, so we've been feeling kind of lazy and gross. So we stay home and we watch films.
Yes, watch films. Okay, so I watched a film called Deneged and Tombstone.
We all watched it.
Yes, well, you only watched it because you saw that I watched it and put it on our Facebook that I was watching it.
Eric even watched it.
As you said it, I forced you to watch it.
There was no forcing. It was just sort of
I needed someone to blame.
It was an
exactly
involuntary coercion. Not so much the force, but...
Okay, I guess as you can tell, they weren't that fond of it. Dead Again in Tombstone, starring Danny Trejo. It's a new one. It's in September 2017 is when it was released, so it's not that old.
Right.
Straight to video?
I believe so.
Oh, I wonder why.
Okay, well, I watched it because, well, it's Danny Trejo. Danny Trejo is kind of a hero of mine. I first saw him in Desperado as the knife-throwing guy.
Yeah.
You know? But at the time, when I was that age, I wanted to be Antonio Banderas when I grew up. But now...
Well, that didn't work out.
No, now I want to be Danny Trejo when I grow up. I mean, because I don't know, he's not the standard handsome, you know, buff hero type, you know,
suave lady killer.
Yeah,
he's more the gravelly.
Yeah, the gravelly. No, don't give a shit. You know, he's not especially buff. He's
no, he's not a lot of things.
Exactly,
he's like an actor.
Hey, have you seen him in Machete? In Machete Lives?
Machete don't act.
Yeah, Machete don't text. Machete don't.
Okay, but Dead Again in Tombstone. So I did not realize going into this movie. I only found out when I pulled it up on IMDb that this is a sequel.
Yeah, I didn't know about that.
I just thought it was a silly name. So, having missed Dead in Tombstone, which came out in 2013, I'm watching this movie as standalone, and for the first 20 minutes, I have no idea what is going on. I thought...
It was obvious. He died. He came back.
I couldn't figure out what... I didn't know... I clearly they were referencing things about him being dead, and it felt like I was watching the film out of sequence. Like they slapped the scenes together wrong, and something is happening, and I don't understand. Which was terrible. I mean, that's terrible. That's completely lack of storytelling.
So you thought you should have seen the first one, the Dead in Tombstone? Would that have helped? Would that have helped?
It might have helped. It might not have. I don't know. Because once they got past that initial awkwardness, the main character Guerrero goes back to his hometown and is trying to sneak around and not let anybody know he's there. And I don't know why, but
they don't recognize him.
He meets his mother and his daughter, and they are mad at him, and I don't know why. But then the bad guys come and threaten everybody, and it's kind of cliche. And then they kill him, and they come back.
Yep.
And that happens like 2 or 3 times this movie.
Yeah, he just would not die. Yeah. They even killed his horse.
Which comes back.
Also would not die.
Although
just as well, because they did not bury that horse very deeply.
Yeah, I know, right? I'm still trying to figure out. They never showed how he got on the buffalo and rode the buffalo back into town, did they? He just rode into the town on a buffalo.
We need a picture for the front cover of this film. Let's put him on a buffalo.
That was a cool picture, though.
Yeah, it was.
That's pretty badass, man.
I mean, come on. But they never, he just rode back into town on a buffalo for, whatever.
Yeah. This movie is fun to laugh at.
Oh, yeah.
We could have made a drinking game out of it.
There are points where he's all in black. He's got that black leather duster.
Yep.
And he's got the black leather chaps. And
he's wearing pants underneath.
Black leather hat.
Yeah.
And black leather gloves. Like, he dresses in the manner of a male prostitute.
Don't say that to his face.
And then there was one of the bad guys they sent out to catch him and shoot him. And, it's so bad. This guy is wearing, like, leather motorcycle gloves. You can tell they're, fingerless with the holes in the Velcro motorcycle gloves. Hey, come on! Why don't you show us your iPhone, too? I don't know. So, it's... The costume was not historically accurate.
No.
They didn't even try. But once they finally got the plot started, they're looking for a book, a naughty book of Satan's spells, right?
Yeah, something like that. And they're apparently, Mexican. It's a Mexican evil book.
Oh, okay.
That's what I figured.
First, I was thinking, why would the devil be writing books? Who's his publisher? How does that work? Did they send him checks monthly, or?
And then they needed an artifact.
Right. They finally all this work to catch for the bad guys to get the book, and they're hiding it and they're running away with it. And they finally get it, and everybody's sad because they've got the book, but the book doesn't work.
Unless
they need the
Satan's horn or
the
something.
pointy stick, which they have to find. Which this is so weird too. They find it. I'm just gonna ruin the story for you because it's dumb anyway. Yeah. The book was buried under a church, and the pointy stick was on the hour hand of a clock on the
church steeple.
Church steeple.
Hid it in plain sight.
In plain sight. One, why would you do that? And two, there are not clocks on church steeples. That's not where clocks go. There's no Western church with a clock on the steeple, except for this one with the devil's horny stick on it for reasons.
Okay, so it was. Yeah, I understand. I agree with everything you're saying. It's like it was a weird, dumb movie, but I mean, I enjoyed it because Danny Trejo. He's my hero.
Yeah.
And hey, they had a Busey, Jake Busey. That was the bad guy, the main bad guy. He was a Busey, and you know how crazy Busey is.
Yeah.
And this guy was almost just like him.
Yeah. The acting was just all around bad. Jake Busey was not one of the bad ones, but it made me wonder, why are you even in this movie?
Money.
What other movies is he in?
That's true. He had a familiar face.
Yeah, because he looked like Busey.
Because it looked like Gary Busey.
Yeah.
But so terrible. Oh, it was another thing. Like when they introduce Guerrero's mother. So Guerrero, the main character, played by Danny Trejo. Danny Trejo's like 80 years old.
Yeah, I know. He's not a young man.
And the woman they cast for his mother,
not that old.
Probably the same age.
Probably 40 years younger than him. And then they used makeup to get her older. And she still doesn't look as old as he is.
I know.
Sort of the Sally Field, Tom Hanks effect.
Yeah.
Where she's playing his girlfriend in one movie, and then 4 years later she's playing his mom.
Oh, that's rough.
I'm not even kidding you. That happened.
Wow. Hollywood. That's fantastic.
Hollywood is a bunch of bitches.
Was this even a Hollywood production, or was it like a...
It seemed really, really low budget.
Yeah,
it's
like a Kickstarter.
A few episodes ago, if you listen to our show, thank you for listening. We were extras in a student film based on the Badlands, and the acting that I saw in that was better than, or at least on par with this movie. So, like student actors or film buffs who we played with that day, they were as good as anybody in this film.
Are you talking to me? I am a bad hombre. Why did you abandon me, my father? I don't need you.
Maybe I should give more credit to the student filmmakers that we worked with. Apparently they're very good. Or possibly this movie was just shitty. Possibly.
Hey, I can see where the spontaneous bathtub sex scene moved the plot along really well.
Oh yeah. We came to that scene like, oh, titties.
Yeah.
That's not going to save this movie.
No.
I was in the 80s and I've seen movies that...
Ass and titties. Ass, titties, ass and titties.
Okay. I've seen 80s movies where they throw those in hoping to get more interest in the movie. And sometimes it works.
Yeah, the 80s movies were all about gratuitous sex.
But not this
Yeah.
Didn't save it. No.
But come on, Danny Trejo on a buffalo.
I saw Danny Trejo's titties.
I mean, hell, he even put a saddle on the buffalo. He took time to saddle it.
You can't ride a buffalo bareback. Too many animals.
I mean, that I don't know. The reason I watch, I if anything, Well, okay. Then they finally got all the pieces together, the book and the wand or the magic stick or whatever, and then they raised a bunch of zombie soldiers.
Yeah, zombie soldiers.
And I think he wasn't even after Tombstone per se, but he said, go kill him anyway. So he sicks him on the town.
And they all have like rifles and guns. The zombie soldiers.
Yep.
So they're shooting. I didn't see anybody die.
I didn't either.
But I saw Danny Trejo get shot a lot.
Yep.
And then they dogpiled him like the NFL. And then they cut to another scene in the church where other things are happening. And then they cut back and there's Danny Trejo. Like, how did you get out from under those guys?
Because he's Danny Trejo.
Okay, sure. All right.
So
he's the hero of the piece.
My favorite scene is the daughter is, smoking hot bartender daughter.
Of course, yes.
Is
but not gratuitous. I mean,
no.
Right.
They put her in clothes because she's the daughter.
But she's the only hot one in the town who refuses to work for the
So she
prostitutes.
stands up and she gives this stirring speech. The zombies are coming to our town. They're going to get us. We have to unite. We have to fight together to get rid of these terrible things. And everyone's like, nah.
No.
Nah.
No, we're afraid of this. We're just gonna go home. And then
Game of Thrones is on tonight. I can't do this.
and then freaking Danny Trejo shows up, stands at the back
From
of the
the dead.
thing, and stands at the back of the room and is like, let's go kill these fuckers. And they're like, okay. Like she gives their stirring speech and everyone's like, whatever. Bitches be quay. That's why you gotta be Danny Trejo.
Yeah, you gotta be Danny Trejo. And if you're the dead guy who says, "Hey, let's go kill these people," how are you gonna say no to him?
I've seen that guy die twice. I ain't following him. He's an idiot. Okay, let's go. Doo-doo-doo-doo. What do we have? Shovels. And they have zombies with guns.
Sure, why
It'll
not?
be fine. What could go wrong?
I don't know. It was not a good movie, but I enjoyed it anyway.
I was entirely too sober to be watching that movie.
Right, yeah. Oh, and the reason why he keeps coming back from the dead, at least in this movie, I don't know about the last one, but there's this white guy who is secretly an angel who keeps reviving him, right? But he's like the only white guy who's not with the bad guys.
Right.
Like,
An
what?
angel doesn't make love. An angel is love.
How come the angel's white? Why? Why is that? Doesn't make any sense.
God is white. Therefore, all the angels are white too. Jesus was white,
They've done
and he
this
spoke
whole-
English.
This whole shtick to establish the Mexican bona fides of this movie. Make the angel a Mexican guy.
Right.
I think that could have been much more interesting.
No,
Anything could have made this more interesting.
there was no saving this movie. There was no casting decision or script choice that would have. No, sorry, no.
Yeah, you're right. But
Danny Trejo.
you go to bed and after watching this, going, okay, we could have something. Things start going through your mind. Well, we could have done this different. We could have done that different. No.
Just
Well, I guess it's just Danny Trejo being Danny Trejo, essentially.
yep.
Yeah. He phoned this movie. He phoned the role in. That's how they say it, right?
Right.
He didn't even try to act out this character because he probably didn't know who this character was either. I sure didn't. That's okay. All right. He's got a taco stand now. Danny Trejo's. There's always money in the taco stand.
Always.
So
All right.
Wait, where's this taco stand? What?
in L.A.
Okay.
Trejo's Tacos.
Okay.
Not even making that up.
We need one here, Danny.
It's a vegetarian tacos.
Vegan. Not even vegetarian.
Oh,
vegan.
you can stay in California then. We don't need any of that here.
Get a rope.
So, I think you figured out how we thought about that movie. But was it steampunk? It was the right time period, sort of.
Post-apocalyptic-ish.
No, it
It was a western.
It was a western.
There were
Weird
zombies.
West.
Weird West. It would fall under Weird West. That's why I started
Yeah,
watching it, because I thought
yeah.
it'd be under Weird West.
Yeah,
you know?
there weren't like gadgets or doodads or
No, just straight up Weird West horror kind of
Yeah.
with the zombies.
No anti-establishment setting or themes. It was a bad Weird West movie.
Weird West.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, the only reason I would recommend it is if you like Danny Trejo, he's doing Danny Trejo.
The only reason I would recommend it is if I don't like you. Secretly.
Here, watch this movie. Okay, so yeah, don't waste your time then. I'm gonna go watch the first one.
Okay.
And
Just to get some backstory.
And I had to pay $4 on Amazon to watch that. That makes me mad now. Ooh, I want my $4 back.
Oh, God's sakes.
Well, you didn't have to pay for the next movie we watched.
That's true. This one comes with my
Your Amazon
Prime, so
It was
what could possibly go wrong?
The Lost City of Z, or Zed, as the English say.
Because it's a British
Yeah.
theme film.
Yeah, I watched this one again because I saw the previews of it and it looked kind of, adventure-y, just from the previews.
It's a historical drama.
Right. I did not realize how drama it was.
Not a fantasy science fiction anything.
Right, but it looked kind of adventure-y when I saw the previews of it. And plus the main character, he's the main character in the TV show Sons of Anarchy.
You're talking about Charlie Hunnam?
The actor?
Yep, the actor.
Okay.
The actor who plays the role of Percy Fawcett, a British colonial
Soldier, explorer,
soldier.
person. Mm-hmm. And I mean, I liked him in Sons of Anarchy. And he was also on the Nerdist podcast interviewed, and he sounded really good. And he, of course, he talked up the movie, like they do, because that's what you got to do, right? Talk up your movie you're in.
Yep.
And so I fell for it, and I started watching it, and I watched it, and I continued watching it.
So you watched it all the way to the end.
I watched it all the way to the end.
For
Okay.
how long?
It's
2 hours.
2 hours
and-
22 minutes or something like that.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
That is a long film.
It
I
was
think
a
we
very
watched
long
about
film.
half of it.
We got so spoilers. We got through an hour and 20 minutes before I just don't care about these people. I want the Indians to shoot them so we can be done. I mean, native Bolivians. So the plot is this British explorer, Colonel Percival Fawcett, is sent to Bolivia to map out the Amazon,
Yeah, he was looking for trying to map out a certain river.
finding the
Not the
source of
Amazon
a river. No,
It wasn't the Amazon River. It was
because that would take forever.
Yeah.
No, it started out as the two neighboring countries were having a dispute about the exact
The
dimensions
border,
of their
yeah.
borders. So, and they didn't want to trust the other side's cartographers, so they thought, oh well, Britain, they're a good
We can trust them.
impartial. They're not involved with our border squabble. They'll be fair. And so they sent Percy Fawcett.
Yes, to do the cartography and map their border.
Right.
And then he wanted to find the source of the river, or that was part of it or something, but yeah. And then he finds stuff.
Because I guess I'm assuming because the river is the border,
That's what I was thinking.
but
yeah.
no one knows where the river is.
Right.
So yeah, he treks up through the jungle on this raft with his
people, and
entourage,
his native guides, and
and
and people die.
we watch them starve to death and go mad and try to kill each other for 1 hour and 20 minutes.
Yep.
There was a sort of amusing review in the Times-Union called, the author is Mick LaSalle, and the title of the review is Lost City of Zed, A Tale Told of an Idiot.
Read on.
So obviously he wasn't he wasn't impressed with this
We're not the
film.
only ones who didn't like it.
He says the author of the review says, my impression of the main character was that he was an idiot, but that impression couldn't have been the director's intention. No one would make a 2.5-hour movie about an idiot, not even Jerry Lewis at his most grandiose. Later on, he says, Gray's presentation of the jungle is without a doubt striking. To watch Fawcett and his small crew navigating the waters and hacking their way through the foliage is to feel as though you are there. For many, that will constitute a recommendation. In the end, it depends on just how much a viewer wants to feel stuck on a boat in boiling heat with your shirt stuck to your back with mosquitoes swarming and natives firing arrows. A case could be made in favor of such an experience, but it won't be made here.
Yeah, that was pretty much sums up the movie.
Right. So the reviewer didn't think much of Percy Fawcett, or thought the actor did a good job of trying to portray him as a noble and charismatic person, but that was more of a credit to the actor himself than to the actual person of Percy Fawcett, who was apparently a bounder and a cad and a terrible person who kept abandoning his wife and going off on these ridiculous adventures.
Right.
Well,
and behaving badly.
He was a military officer.
Yeah,
right?
The first time he was sent.
Right. But
he doesn't make it. Yeah. He goes back.
At some point, he retires from the military.
He, in his first excursion, that's like 2 years.
Yeah,
right.
And
that was an assignment.
Yeah.
He had to.
And so he had a toddler when he left.
Right.
And when he comes back, he's got a 4 or 5 year old, and you hear the child say, "Are you my daddy?"
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, oh.
Right. And then he convinces there's another explorer out there who is apparently famous for exploring the Arctic or whatever, and he decides, I want to go back. I will go explore it with you. We will find the city of Zed together. And that guy was a pompous ass.
Oh, okay. So
yeah, he stole their candy.
Yeah.
That guy was played by Angus McFadden, and he's. If you see his face, you'll recognize. Oh, I know that guy from something, but yeah, James Murray is the name of that character that he plays, and he's just useless.
Yep.
He is baggage.
Mm-hmm.
He whines the whole time. His back
He gets
hurts.
sick
His feet
and hurts himself, and so they have to send him back to keep him alive. They send him away,
And he's whining. You don't even care about me. Because you ate all my candy.
All right. Then he makes it back to England on his own. Surprisingly, they were surprised. Hey, you made it back! Congratulations! And then he's like, starts accusing him for you abandoned me. You did this to me. It's all your fault that I,
We didn't even get to that part of the movie, and we knew that was coming.
Yeah, that's exactly what he did. He started bad mouthing the other guy, saying, you did this to me. You turned on me, and blah blah blah. Kind of stuff. And then they're turning back. It's like we did not make it there because of you. You were sick. You were this. You sabotaged. He even sabotaged their remaining stuff that they had before they put him on the horse. So we had to turn back ourselves because of him. And that's the second time. That's from the second. Then they go back again. He goes
a third
back
time.
A third time with his son, with his oldest son.
Who was the toddler at the beginning of the movie?
Yes.
And how many sons has he got then?
I
know between.
He had 2 sons and a daughter.
Yeah.
So he comes back and he knocks his wife up. This needs to be talked about at least briefly.
Every time he came back,
the movie was really interesting in a painful way, showing how Victorian society treated men versus women, and what their roles were, and what the limits of those roles were.
And they really tried hard to make Percy Fawcett look good in this movie. He wanted to go back because he told the British that he'd found evidence of a society of non-whites that predated white Christian society by possibly hundreds or thousands of years.
Right, and of course the English were having none of that.
Very advanced, and then it showed, when he's traveling up the river, his companions want to shoot the natives that are firing arrows and throwing spears at them, and he's like, no, I want to talk to them, and he tries to make peace with the tribes that he's traveling past on the way to try to find the lost city. So they're really trying to make him seem like he's a really fair-minded, egalitarian, sort of an advanced thinker.
Not so English
and then,
as the English are.
Right, and then his wife says, we've always spoken as equals, and I feel like I should go with you. And he's like, no, it's very dangerous, and you would be a liability. And so even though up until that point he had been telling his wife, we're equals in this marriage, and we're partners.
You
and
can't come.
And then he treated her like she wasn't. And so it kind of, apparently, according to the reviewer, you can see the progression in the actress as she sort of gets older and realizes that even though he's paying all this lip service to being fair and equal in partnership in marriage with this woman, that he really doesn't consider her to be an equal, and that it's just a very gradual heartbreak for her to realize that, yeah, he's just a British dickhead after all.
Yeah. And like I said, he goes back a third time with his son. And did you see the part where they just, there's like an orchestra or an opera going on in the middle of the rainforest?
Yes. That was weird. I didn't know what was going on there. Yes.
Yeah, but they get back to that position, and that place is like completely run down and abandoned, and nothing's there anymore. You know, so things have moved on. Apparently, I don't know how many years after this happened, but like I said, he gets back on a third trip with his son. He's older. His son's already old enough, and they train his son. Blah blah blah. And this is where the ending comes. The ending confuses me. Because at one point he tells one of the people on the Explorer Society, whatever, if I send back this watch, you'll know I found it. Found the city of Zed.
Uh-huh.
You know, and it's like, all right, so, you know, that'll be a sign that I found it if I send this watch back.
Mm-hmm.
And so at the end of the movie, they find some more natives. I don't think it's the same natives they met before. It's a completely different set of natives, you know. And they make them drink some stuff. You know, here, drink this, and they kind of pass out, and they're carrying them, and I don't know I think they were hallucinating, because apparently they found the city because they kind of showed some bright lights in here and there, you know, kind of thing. But then, you know, I think the natives poisoned them. I really do, or drugged them. But then at the end of the movie, that watch is sent back. You know, the person who said, you know, he receives that watch from somebody sent that watch back. You know,
I wonder if that's a little artistic license by the film producers, or if that actually happened at all. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like I said, that's where the ending was a little confusing. But yeah, the movie was slow, very slow burn, very, very slow burn.
Hour and 20 minutes.
You know, up the river, back to England. Up the river, back to England. Up the river, I don't know if he made it. I don't know.
And the whole point is, you know, historically, Officer Fawcett doesn't come back. He's lost.
Right.
And
no one knows.
That's it. No one knows.
Exactly.
And more than that, after this movie, no one cares.
Yeah. But like I said, the reason I started watching it, because like I said, when they showed the previews, and of course I heard him on the interview, he talked it up a bit, and it sounded a little bit more exciting than when it was.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, the part that I thought was really interesting is apparently the true person of Percy Fawcett was acquainted with Arthur Conan Doyle, who is known for writing the Sherlock Holmes mysteries. But he also wrote a story called The Lost World, and apparently the character from that is based on Percy Fawcett.
Oh, okay.
So I thought that was sort of interesting.
Wait, wasn't that a Thor sequel? Wait, no,
different Lost World.
Oh,
there's a lot of worlds that are lost out
Jurassic
there.
Park. No,
Yeah.
no.
Like I said, there's a lot of different Lost Worlds out there.
Yeah.
We're finding them all over the place. But yeah, so obviously this was I did not. In the end, I did not consider it steampunk. It was the right Victorian time.
Right. I didn't think it was going to be. Right. It's a historical.
I was thinking more. I was hoping it'd be more pulp. You know, but
Well, I think
wish they'd
the
have gone.
story of Percy Fawcett did inspire Arthur Conan Doyle and probably other writers
so
to
the pulp books
to write pulp fiction about the explorations of the deep dark jungle. Apparently, that's a very romantic idea, and a lot of the Victorians were really into that concept. So
Alan Quartermain and whatever.
yeah,
right.
that's what I was thinking.
And,
But this was not that.
Well, and apparently there's been some speculation that the character of Indiana Jones was based on Percy Fawcett.
I wouldn't be
to
surprised to some degree. Yeah.
Other side notes on this movie: Percy Fawcett's sort of right-hand man, his I don't know,
aide de camp.
Yes, the character Henry Costin is played by Robert Pattinson in a long, gravelly beard, so you barely recognize him.
Right.
But apparently later he becomes a vampire.
He didn't have the trademark
He gets sparkly.
sparkly weird hair.
Sparkly vampire guy. And, I see. Percy Fawcett's son, who I did not watch it long enough to see, is played by Tom Holland, who later becomes Spider-Man. So that was really the last thing I had to mention.
The City of Z.
City of
So
Zed.
definitely not steampunk. Victorian.
And not terribly good.
Yeah, not terribly good. Very
But I
slow
did
burn.
want to bring up, I know we're running out of time here, but I wanted to talk briefly about another show that's also a historical drama.
Okay.
So, also not steampunk.
That's okay.
But especially considering we're talking about Victorian explorers. I was watching this show, Erica and I were both watching Egypt, which is a historical drama on Netflix.
Okay, I haven't heard of this one.
And it was one of those things Netflix says, oh, I see you like these things. Watch this.
So you did.
And we watched the first episode entitled The Search for Tutankhamun.
Very much
King
of our
Tut.
interest. Yes.
Okay. Where this historical figure, Howard Carter, is introduced as an explorer and archaeologist without a lot of training. He's working under another guy who is supposedly the expert, but he's mostly a showman and is just like looking for something to
Exploit.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly. But we watch him go through the adventure and misadventures of working for that guy and then getting sick and tired of him and trying to find his own benefactor to keep paying for him to keep digging.
Right. The showman was, if you're a true appreciator of history, watching this guy, bust into canopic jars and unveil what's inside of them for an audience, or unwrap mummies, for a paid event is just agonizing. It's so awful. You just want to beat him. It's terrible.
Which I think is what they were going for.
Yeah.
The whole episode was an hour rather than 2.5. And so it kept my interest. It's still historical drama, so it's not, explosions and firefights. But it's interesting, and it establishes characters better characters than Lost City of Zed.
Was it a little bit faster pace, or
it is a little. Yes,
Seemed to be,
considering they're going over years and years of digging, seasons of digging.
Oh, is this a movie or a TV show?
This is a TV show,
Okay.
and we're just talking about the first episode.
but they managed to convey that this was a long process of finding the exact place in the Valley of Kings where.
Yeah, it's not something that you just do right away.
Right,
There's searching
apparently a war broke out at some point, and all the digs were shut down by the British government, and everyone was recalled from the region. And Carter was just so upset 'cause he thought, "Oh, I'm just so close, but he couldn't."
It's like a gambler's addiction.
Yeah,
That's how it was in the Z. I mean, actually, the World War I broke out, and they went and fought, and one of his compatriots got killed, and then after the wars ended, he went back to went back.
Right. So, it did convey that there was a lot of time had passed while he was looking for this great find, but it didn't drag on the way Lost City did.
It establishes, working in the desert and toiling away, but it wasn't as agonizing to watch as Lost City of Zed. And I think there's a payoff at the end. We've heard of Tutankhamun because he finds it.
Right.
Hooray!
Yeah.
So I don't think that's a spoiler. I think you kind of know that. But it tells a good story of how he finds it and the pains he had to go through and the excitement finally when you get there.
Is my brain just filling in, or was there actually a guy named Aziz?
Aziz Light.
I want to say there was.
No.
If there wasn't, there should have been. Okay, sorry.
Well played. So I might be mistaken, but it looks like the next episode continues where right after this episode where the tomb is found. And I don't know what's going to happen next. I kind of want to find out now.
So now you're going to watch the next episode.
The whole season is 6 episodes.
Oh, that's not long at all. Yeah,
it's worth trying. Spend an hour, see if this first episode is interesting to a.
Wasn't it originally BBC?
Sounds like something BBC would be doing.
That's 6 episodes. Is British.
Yeah,
TV.
Definitely.
It does say it was made in UK, and that's who makes films in the UK.
BBC.
So probably yes.
Okay.
So it's more of a docudrama kind of thing, or
just as much as the Lost City of Z was.
Okay.
It's
but better made.
It's dramatic.
Lost City of Z was based on one book, and I think Egypt was probably screen written for the TV by a team.
That makes sense. Mm-hmm. But not necessarily steampunk, but
it's not steampunk.
But historically relevant to our interests.
Absolutely.
I guess you can say.
It's a Victorian setting story. There is a little bit of anti-establishment. He's rebelling against the establishment, quote unquote, archaeologist who's a schlep.
Right.
That's kind of stretching it. But there's no steampunk,
Right, there's no gadgets
science
or anything.
elements in
Yeah,
it's historical.
Okay, that's fine.
But it's good, which is better than we can say about anything else we talked about today.
Yay, yeah. Oh man. Well, I think we blabbered on enough for now.
Yeah, let's play the music.
Yeah, we're gonna play a song, and then we're gonna get to what's happening in October, and maybe a little bit into November.
Sounds good.
From here, so we'll be right back. back from that. That music was, who was that?
Django Reinhardt.
Minor Swing was the song, was the track.
And he was a early jazz artist, played from like 1910 through the 40s or 50s. So he sort of fits in the period that these movies we've been talking about happened. He was hunted by the Nazis because it was Roma, and he's influenced jazz and lots of musical styles since. I know our friend Scott from Frenchie the Punk has told us that he's taken a lot of influence from Django Reinhardt, which is the only reason I even found out who he was. So thank you, Scott, for that.
Yeah, thank you, Scott.
So, up-and-coming stuff happening.
Yeah, there's actually quite more in October happening than I thought there was.
Yep, it's time to get busy. I'm going to start out. If you are into live-action role-playing, there's a game called Sovereign Scrolls that is typically a fantasy genre game, but they are incorporating steampunk characters and a steampunk element into it, and they've got a game coming up in Killeen, Texas. They're titling this episode as a distress call. The fallen steam vessel broadcasts a distress call. The Fellowship of El. Prepare a band of adventurers to investigate the crash landing. This is a one-day event for the newest Sovereign Scrolls LARP chapter, which I will be attending because I am also new.
And I'm going as well.
It's a one-day event, costs $10. First-time players receive 3 build.
Which
I don't even know what
I don't know
that
what
is
that
yet.
means.
But I think it's like experience. I don't know.
Oh,
It's
okay.
going to be good. It'll be fun to sort of try out their LARP game. And I've been really itching for a LARP I can sink my teeth into. So that is October 14th. Look up Sovereign Scrolls, Colleen Chapter, or Distress Call. And, of course, we'll link it in Facebook.
Of course. And then the next day, Erica?
Oh, that would be October 15th. Paranormal Mysteries.
Ooh, what's that?
That it will be taking place in Wessels Hall at Pioneer Farms in Austin, Texas.
I've never actually been to Pioneer Farms.
It's pretty interesting.
It's not far from here.
No, not at all. It seems very strange. You're just going down a sort of urban landscape, and all of a sudden there's a trip back in time for you.
Yeah.
So, backed by popular demand, Reverend William D. Papin, president and team leader of the Austin Paranormal Investigations, will talk about paranormal, how he conducts investigations, and his encounters with paranormal activity, including with spirits inhabiting Pioneer Farms. You will not want to miss the display and demonstrations of the equipment used during our investigations. Perhaps you can detect one of our spirits attending this event. Come early, tour the farm to familiarize yourself with the sites, and stay for the presentation for no additional charge. Attendance to this presentation is included in your admission price to tour the museum. And Pioneer Farms is located at 10621 Pioneer Farms Drive in Austin, Texas. So if you're curious about paranormal investigations and how they work and what sort of equipment they use, check it out.
Yep. Much like the Victorians were very much into
Oh,
paranormal
yes.
I think
activities.
if you went in costume, it wouldn't stand out.
Maybe not.
It would be fun.
Yeah, that would be.
Do you work here?
Yeah. I get
Where's
that.
the bathroom?
Son, when you're a man, everywhere is your bathroom.
Okay, and October 19th, our favorite lamp factory is having their steampunk mixer Halloween.
All right.
And that is, of course, happening in San Marcos on 114 East San Antonio Street, San Marcos, Texas.
It's right on the square.
Yeah, it's right on the square. And apparently they have walkabout on the square around the same time, if not the same night.
Mm-hmm.
So, lots going on. And the Steampunk Lamp Factory is always very cool. We've talked about it many times before. But I'll read the details. Once again, we humbly invite you to our monthly Steampunk Mixer as part of San Marcos' third Thursday Walkabout. Bring your friends and family for a night of food, drinks, and spooky fun. As always, come in your best steampunk attire for our monthly costume contests, which I have won one and Thax has won one, and we're all
Maybe
eventually
it's my turn.
it'll be her turn.
Ah.
Also, we are very excited to be featuring performers by Jackson and Carl Anthony. I don't know what they're performing. Maybe music? Probably music.
I assume that's what he was talking about.
Right.
They're not acrobats or something.
Right. Well, they had the glass blowers that one time,
That's true.
So yeah, it's on a Thursday night, October 19th. And, usually around 7 o'clock is when they start gathering, and it's a bunch of friendly people. Just come on out and hang out and talk and have some fun. Next.
All right, October 21st, Maker Faire Houston 2017. We are proud to host the 5th annual Houston Maker Faire. This year's event will be held at the George R. Brown Convention Center in the center of Houston. Make your plans now for another wonderful 2-day event.
Is that the same convention that they hold Kamapalooza in? The
Yes.
same building? Okay.
Oh, that's huge.
It's a big place.
This might be very interesting. Advanced purchase discounts will be available for the event. Those will be distributed by event exhibitors and other broadcasts. We'll also post updated discount codes on the website, houston.makerfair.com. There's plenty of parking around the convention center. I don't think they have a parking spot for convention center, but everywhere downtown there's places to park. There's also public transportation. Dogs are not allowed. I'm just kind of going through this because they've got it broken down into bullet points. It is 100% indoors, so you don't have to worry about the weather since we're still in hurricane season.
Yeah.
Be prepared to have a fantastic time. You'll be surprised and intrigued with every corner that you turn. No refunds and exchanges cannot be replaced, and since it's indoors, the rain shouldn't be a problem. Houston Maker Faire is an independently organized and operated under license for Maker Media Inc. Okay, so
yeah, I mean, 'cause we've been to Maker Fairs here in Austin. We've been to, so this is apparently a really big Maker Faire.
The George R. Brown Convention Center, is large.
Yep.
So if they can fill that, that's going to be.
The one
something.
in Austin is called a mini Maker Faire, right?
Oh, I guess that would make a difference.
Mini Maker Faire.
Well, I'm just saying. And there's so much stuff at that one.
Yeah.
This is a regular Maker
I
Faire.
wonder how many Legos they're going to have at this one.
Oh my god.
So many Legos.
So yeah, check that out. On the 21st. What's next?
Well, later that week, October 27th, is a steampunk block party in Houston as well. Happening at the the Health Museum in Houston, 1515 Herman Drive, Houston, Texas. October 27th, and it says at 9 p.m. Friday. It's a Friday. Mm-hmm. I don't know why it's so late at night, but it says join us for an after party. It doesn't say after party of what?
No. You've got this all wrong. The Steampunk Cheers to Your Health event starts at 7 and goes till 9.
And this is the after party I'm reading.
Yes.
And then, yes.
Excited to be a part of this unique wine tasting steampunk event here in Houston. So now I have your attention, right?
Wine tasting, yes.
Hooray!
I have 4 beautiful models. I get dressed up and demonstrate what steampunk fashion is all about. And I'll be setting up a cool stage for photos. It's going to be a lot of fun. And I don't mean me. I mean the host, Pixie Hollow. I don't know Miss Hollow myself, but apparently she likes wine and beautiful models. So we have something in common. That is happening at the Health Museum at 1515 Herman Drive on the 27th. And then there's the after party after
now I'm
9.
seeing that, but where it says steampunk, but here, according to the banner here, it says science, technology, engineering, art, math, steampunk, technology of wine, tonics, and potion.
My favorite kind of science.
Yes, at the Health Museum happening afterwards. That's $10 apparently for you need to buy tickets. Yeah, I know. It's at the after party. It sounds by DJ FX Box something OLMNOS. I don't know what that means. It's a DJ. They have a cosplay contest, food trucks, cash bar, art cars, steampunk horror movie night, and fun science experiments as well. What could go wrong?
Absolutely.
So that's happening in Houston on the 27th.
All right.
Okay, and that's the end of October.
End of October. But in the beginning of November, we have a few things.
Yes. There's the Louisiana Steampunk Festival, Saturday, November 4th, and that would be located in Lafayette, Louisiana, at the Cité des Arts at 109 Vine Street. This is the part costume play, part Victorian science fiction, part street fair, all ages festival hosted by Cité des Arts to showcase and celebrate science fiction, speculative technology, language arts, and art education. Admission is $10 per person per day or $15 for the entire weekend. Children under 12 are free.
$15 for a whole weekend of steampunk convention. That's
good.
A good deal.
That is a good deal.
Yes. And Lafayette, Louisiana is a wonderful little town with all kinds of fantastic places to eat and drink and enjoy your life and laisser le bon temps rouler.
What part of Louisiana is that in again?
Lafayette.
The swampy part.
How far is it from like New Orleans?
Lafayette is closer to Austin than New Orleans is.
Okay.
So it's I don't know if it's between Houston and Baton Rouge or if it's between Houston and New Orleans, but it's right along the 10 corridor right there, I believe.
Okay.
So
it's not as long a drive, obviously.
not as long a drive,
good. I like
and if you've got the time, definitely check it out.
Yeah, well, I mean, I would definitely go, except the day after.
Yeah, if you don't have the time, November 5th, Sunday, we are hosting the Steampunk Shindig at the J. Lorraine Ghost Town.
Yep.
Out the east side of Maine or Texas. So it's a much, much smaller event, but entrance is free. There's going to be about a dozen vendors. I've started getting people signing up. As we're speaking, I got an email from somebody. Flavio, you'll be vending.
Yep, I'm be vending.
Showing some of your photography and photo processing that you do. I've got a number of artists and wire wrap jewelry makers.
Okay,
and
cool.
The J. Lorraine Ghost Town is awesome. As we have many times mentioned,
Definitely.
there'll be cold beer and burgers and what have you.
Right. Don't bring your own. It's not BYOB.
No, it's buy your B.
Yeah, buy it there.
But we'll have games of skill and chance, a small, what do you say, card games, and laser tag, and
Combat croquet.
And we'll just be having a good time all afternoon.
Are you still looking for someone to host tea dueling?
I am. If you would be interested, if you listeners know someone who would be interested in hosting a tea dueling arrangement, we can certainly use you. If you're interested, contact me. Or if you'd like to vend, I am open to having more vendors. Or if you have a steampunk airship crew or a local club or any other kind of, crew that work together and do something together we do.
Yeah, you're looking to show off your stuff or try to recruit.
And if you would like to show off your thing and do some recruiting and have a booth, contact me. We are interested in bringing in as many local clubs as we can to cross promote and pollinate and what have you.
And I mean, this is also in cooperation with the what's her name,
Lisa Lamar.
Yes, this whole thing was started
it was
out
her
by
idea.
Lisa Lamar and her belly dancing friends who wanted to do a steampunk style Middle Eastern dance performance, and we've taken this to a whole nother level. But they will start performing at 5 o'clock, and then they have another band coming on at 7.
Belly dancing and bands, and then in the middle we're gonna have a costume contest, which us as a podcast will be emceeing.
Yes, costume contest for anyone who would like to present yourselves for the contest, and a beard and mustache contest. And I don't mean the ones with only gentlemen who grow their mustaches. I mean ridiculous faux mustaches and yarn-made beards and whatever you want to put together. Come out and show us your facial hair. We want to see it. We want to give somebody an award, a trophy for the best fake mustache and beard.
Right, and we'll also be presenting the awards for the winners of the games, the various games throughout the day that they're playing.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll be presenting that. So I didn't even know I was doing this until I saw the flyer, which is cool.
We're running by the seat of our pants here. But by all means, if you are anywhere near Maynard, Texas, November 5th, come out in your costume and let's make a day of it. We'll have a good time.
Starts at noon, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the band goes on at 7, and after the band's playing, they're done. We're done.
Yeah. It's Sunday. We have to go to work the next day. So
it's not a late night thing.
And it's going to be appropriate for all ages.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a family event, lots of fun. Please come out.
Absolutely, yes. Thank you.
So yes, please join us. This is a first year event. No telling if it'll ever happen again. Hopefully, if it goes well, we'll see if we can do it again.
We really want to continue to do this and see if we can grow this into something exciting.
I mean, because we need more steampunk in our lives.
Yeah. Oh, and then we need to talk about the big event of the year coming up the next weekend. So about a month out from now, Steampunk November, which we have talked about
many times.
Many times. We had such an amazing time last year, and they are expanding as they have every year since they started. Steampunk November is out in Mansfield, Texas. You can buy your tickets ahead of time.
Yep, I've already bought mine.
Or there on the site. It is the biggest in the state of Texas, the biggest
steampunk gathering. Think of it like the Ren Fair. It's outside. It has the vendors and the stages and all that going on, but not as big as the Ren Fair, obviously. But still, for steampunk, it's pretty good size. So it's a good time. What weekend was that? November 10th, right?
It's the 10th. Yeah. So the weekend after the Steampunk Shindig in Maynard.
And once again, we're not trying to compete with them. Ours is a little small gathering, local gathering. Anybody's welcome, of course, from all over.
Yeah, it's just sort of a primer before the big show.
Yeah. What your appetite?
A little appetizer.
Yeah.
So yeah, that sounds like it sounds like it's going to be a good time. It's good to see so many more things starting to happen because we had a dry spell there for a while.
It's too hot.
Summer is difficult to work with. But hey, all right. Hopefully summer will end soon.
Soon, hopefully. We're already in October and it's still hot. But that's Texas for you.
Right. Is there anything we didn't hit on that we still have time for?
I can't think of anything right off the bat. How about you guys? Nothing?
No.
Mostly, I just want to thank everybody who
Definitely.
continues to tune in and listen to our show. We are so glad you're here. If you have any questions or feel like that we missed something and you want to add something, post a comment on our Facebook page.
Yep, Texas Steampunk Connection.
That's where you're going to find links to all the events we've just talked about, so you don't miss any of them that you would like to go to. Yeah, and until our next episode.
Well, I was also going to say, just in case for some weird reason you don't have a Facebook, like I do have some friends that don't have Facebook.
No
it's
way.
Odd. Yeah, we do have we have an email account. It's just TexasSteampunkConnection@gmail.com. Simple as that. So if you want to send us a comment and you can't get through Facebook for some reason, you can send us an email.
All right.
After that, now until next time.
Mind your gauges. Thanks for listening. This has been the Texas Steampunk Connection. Opening music was The Texas Steer Rag by George Botsford, recorded in 1909.
Please like us on Facebook at Texas Steampunk Connection.
Where you will find the links to all the topics we talked about in this episode.
Until next time,
Mind your gauges.